And usually it's the opposite. You usually say, "Oh, we're gonna do great. We're gonna like." You always pump yourself up no matter what, and he did the exact opposite. I guess honesty sometimes is an interesting thing in esports. Anyway, you can see the map run through is starting right now. It's gonna be Australia's taking on Gambit. It's gonna be on Train, and once again, the guys from Face It, James and DDK. It's all yours.
Thank you very much, Scoot. So we are about to go into the pistol rounds. Mere seconds away here on Train. Nice video on Carrigan there, and I quite like that they made their own team and are powering ahead with that. Good stuff for the CSGO scene in general. I have bought enough stickers this major to fund the Valve CSGO Christmas party. The punch is on me, Edo.
Well, speaking of Carrigan generally and how he's able to lead his team, I mean, these players are so versatile, their map pool's so deep. I agree with the Des there. This is going to be pretty comfortable. Should be pretty comfortable for Astralis, but it all starts here with the pistol round. They want to get that. They want to cripple that CT economy of Gambit immediately, and we're about to see how they are going to approach that. And it looks like they're going to take the bomb down towards the secret area, towards the inner on B. They've got a guy out on the main area in A as well, out in the yard. And the bomb looks like it could go down pretty easily. Gambit are pretty out of position here to stop a bomb from being planted on B if Astralis are going to be putting the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, Carrigan was standing in the smoke on A, and he has been doing a good job of distracting people, taking down 2 players as well, so that's really good for this side. He's yet to go down. It's not going to be easy for Gambit Gaming. They've got a 2-man disadvantage now as Waylander gets taken out. There's no kit on the players who are alive. So many angles. It's going to be so difficult for them on Train. So much variance around these trains. And there we go. Very quick pistol round. You saw the stats there. Astralis winning about 80, just shy of 84% of their pistol rounds in general.
Yeah, it was interesting there because Astralis just sent one guy out into the yard, and it actually kind of threw Gambit quite a lot because then they were a little bit too far out of position. Of course, they're going to play retake on B instead because it's going to be harder to retake the A-bomb site. But then they went in kind of one by one. They couldn't take it together because they were too far out of the rotation. So
the conga line, Dan.
So yeah, they got really sold down the river there by that one player in yard on the first round. So this is a great way to start things. But the Deeg is out on Waylander. Let's see what he can do with it for Gambit.
We've got pistols on Gambit. They're coming close. Close quarters engagement. 1 man down for both sides now. Hooch is hunting, but he is not finding. Waylander gets dispatched of. Lots of trades coming in. The bomb's down. Going to get collected quickly by Carrigan, though. Man advantage. Now the question is, what do Astralis do here? Carrigan's still around where all his teammates dropped. The problem is there are weapons on the floor, but they don't really have the people to guard the weapons with, and this isn't really the best map to do so. So it seems that perhaps they might wait just to see if Gambit Gaming get a bit greedy and go for those weapons, because they're pretty much guarding the weapons now. Carrigan's got pop, Cajun B's got T-spawn, and Dupree has upper B. Left to, well, Carrigan's looking towards lower and the pop at the moment.
Yeah, so and one thing is, Gambit, the players are, eventually Astralis will realize, okay, Gambit, there are 2 players left are probably in spots where they don't want to get caught out of position going for the weapons, so we're starting to see that now. Astralis is like, okay, they're probably just holding some angles. Let's go for the move here, and they should be able to just trade their way to victory here every time.
Mo has a blind spot because he was standing in the middle of the B bomb train, which is a very tricky place to stand if you are 3 anti-eco or anti-force by Ts. But he's now moved away. Maybe there's been such inaction he's gone to join his friend at Dren with really bad timing as outcome Astralis. Though Dupree had the high ground, so he had the angle on the bomb train itself. We'll see what Gambit choose to do because of the way this map is designed with these trains. Maybe that they go to try and do what they can rather than go for a save. Well, there we go. That's definitely going to be a push then with Dupree getting taken down by Mo. Adren coming in through connector as well. Mo's just going to check all the channels. Won't find anybody there. Cajun B does have the high ground. There is a Molotov onto Carrigan, but he's on the site itself.
Adren's actually getting in closer with the pistol, and that's very dangerous. Carrigan will eliminate him, but he's been tagged down. And Mo's got an AK-47 now. And there is the finish onto Carrigan. So full HP for Cajun B. The Molotov's going to go down, and we'll get Mo just tapping the bomb, forcing Cajun B out, and that should never happen. What a clutch coming in from Gambit if he's able to get the defuse all the way.
Ooh.
It's going to be a close one, but it looks like he should be good to go here, just about. And indeed, he's going to get it. Mo. Wow. And that was crazy.
That had to be super, super close. And yeah, again, this is a map where it's favorable to be dancing around the trains with those pistols. But even with the range of CZ, popping people in the head there, very nice second round by Gambit. How will Astralis adjust to this? We've got the buys coming in. We've got Gilils coming out. And various pistols. The force buy is coming in from Astralis. We've got the P90 on Hooch. Quite looking forward to Mo picking up an AWP later on. Maybe this is not the most exciting map for the AWP. He is quite an explosive player with it. There was some arguments in the cast room about him not being as good against tier 1 teams. We'll see if that comes to fruition later on. For now, we're going to have 3 CTs on the A bomb site, moving around, playing the ranges. You can see Mo and Dozier on the bomb site itself. Adren and Waylander keeping care of B for now.
Yeah, if Gambit are able to secure this round, they're going to take a pretty nice economic lead. And that's the perfect way to start your CT side on this map. And they'll be able to get that up onto Mo, which, as you say, is pretty key. So here we go. The push comes out from Astralis. Going to be moving in quickly onto the yard now to see who they can catch off guard. And so far, looks like they're going to actually get almost all 5 players out, our Astralis, onto the yard. And so far, Gambit aren't really getting the kind of angles or engagements that they want to clean things up, but finally Dozier will respond with the FAMAS, getting 2 frags for his troubles, but 2 players are still left here from Astralis to do some damage to get the bomb planted perhaps, but Dupree, his teammates have all fallen. How is he going to get the space or the breathing room to get the bomb down? Mo is going to end his life with the M4, and it looks like it was, in the end, a decent cleanup from Gambit, but it looked a little bit scary for a while.
Mo's got 5 kills in 3 rounds, so putting in work for his team already, and the AWPs are not even out. Astralis have run out of cash. They're going to have to eco with their money around $2,000, and Gambit will continue to try and build. Hooch retain that P90. Just spying some nades here. So lots of smokes on the CT side. Generally speaking, the CTs get to connector before the Ts get to A main, which is a very important factor going forward with AWP, duels, etc. Not opting to smoke it off. Seems most of Astralis are headed towards the B bomb site, walking around Pop. Only Waylander's down. Not sure if he has the right angle. Actually, Mo taking down Carrigan towards A, but again, the B push is coming in now. Waylander will have just spotted somebody, but he'll have to wait for his teammates to come in before he advances. Does not want to give up that rifle. Nice tapping. Device and Dupree go down. That nade should do great damage as well. Dimix almost leaves the building from the nades. Clean round from Gambit. Astralis get the plant, but they get no kills whatsoever. So Gambit will take that.
The main issue actually is that I was actually surprised there because Astralis' main job in these last 2 rounds was to get the bomb plant. The round which they were least likely to do so was this one. And Gambit actually allowed them to do that. And that's going to make a big difference now because they're all going to be around 5k to 5,500, I believe, if I did the math correctly. And that's going to allow them to actually be able to pull out an AWP without going glass cannon. They'll be able to have all the nades, basically all the options that they want. Looks like they're opting not to go for the AWP. Or do they? I'm just going to double check that. Did we
There's
get
probably one on the floor,
Device?
I'm imagining.
Yeah,
because
there
Device
is
spent
indeed.
44, yeah.
Yeah, so Device will have the AWP. So this is now a perfect setup for Astralis, just because they got the 1 bomb plant down.
Yeah, I think Gambit's priority was their own economy as opposed to Astralis getting the bomb. Definitely wanted to have as much money as possible going forward on what you could argue is a fragile CT round. So we've got that nice pop flash from Astralis because you can hold that angle where those flames are with an AWP, for example. So it's very important to flash off that angle, otherwise you could get wrecked by somebody such as Mo.
And you can see that Gambit are actually playing very close to the front area of the yard. So they're playing a very trade-heavy style. They don't want Astralis to get in off and execute, but it looks like Astralis are actually going to be ignoring the yard mostly in this round so far as they start to occupy the inner area towards the B bomb site. Now, Gambit don't really have a big read, but Train isn't a map that's too easy to get info on as the CT side. The Ts are kind of on the bomb side, or they're not. And here it goes. Astralis in with the nades. Just the first ones there to bait out some fire before they make the move, and here they are.
We've got nice execute coming in. We've got Molotovs on the top as well. Playing close to the smoke to try and get as much real estate as possible as the bomb goes down. They're going for the open bomb plant so they can defend the bomb from both sides of the train rather than being limited to upper and lower where the default plant comes in. But they've got a 2-man disadvantage here. All the Gambit players coming in from the CT side of the bomb site. Carrigan holding a tight angle now, going to get a nice headshot onto Adren, but where will the next player be? Hooch will be the man to trade, so it's Zipex versus 3. Going to try and get a sneaky angle. Dozier, though, will be up for the challenge. And Gambit will survive with 3 players intact and a very fast bomb defuse.
Yeah, and that's going to make, again, a very big difference getting the bomb down there. That extra $800 is going to mean that they can once again get a decent buy-in, but they're actually not really strong enough to pick up an AWP unless... Actually, yeah, nobody actually has enough to just straight go, even pick up an AWP to drop it for somebody.
Now we see the AWP on Mo. I'm quite curious as to how they'll play B, because sometimes Envy will play B, for example, where NBK is playing close on the bomb site, close to default, watching lower, and you might have Kenyes or Happy, for example, in connector, looking upper, who can quickly rotate and put 4 people on A as well.
Yeah, I would expect something faster from Astralis now that they're not playing more of a pick-based style, again, not being able to afford an AWP. So let's see how they handle it. They haven't really tested Gambit with a fast round just yet with the rifles, like more of a contact play. And they are setting up towards around Pop Dog and main, team main with that bomb as well at the moment. I think it's making its way back towards that area. And you can see there's a bit of pressure in towards B. Astralis just trying to make it a little bit more ambiguous before they go for the hit. And it does appear like they are going to start putting some pressure more in towards the yard now.
So we'll see if they try to burst out onto the site with that smoke. But while we have a quick lull, you saw the pop flash going towards B once again, but it landed behind the wall, which is not good for Astralis. Somebody needs to pick up on that because that could be a problem going forward if they're not flashing lower B properly, if Mo ends up there with an AWP later on. But for now, it's Gambit with a 3-man advantage, and the push is coming in from Astralis. The first frag's going to go the way of the T side. The Vice going to get taken down by Mo, though. And he may be a problem going forward. He's at the back, getting smoked off. Bomb plant is attempted. Not going to work out, though. On the floor now, 3 versus 3. Still 50 seconds left. Huge towards Ivy. Mo's just waiting for a connection to be made, but the bomb's being planted on the other side.
Oh, Waylander coming in from the back, though. Is there somebody able to cover Dupree's position? Absolutely not. So Waylander with a kill. He'll tap the bomb, put the pressure on the T's now. They've got to quickly try to prevent this retake from happening. And it's all on Zipex. He's over by Pop Dog. He's got 3 players to play against. This is incredibly hard in Zipex's position. Can he get the first kill? Looks like he won't. Waylander will take it, and the defuse will come in with 3 players staying alive for Gambit, which is a big win for them and their economy. And we go 5-1, so strong start out of the gate here for Gambit.
Gambit have won 5 rounds in a row, and 4 of those 5 rounds have been by defuse. There is a pause coming in, we'll find out why shortly. But again, it seems that they are content on the retakes for the time being. But that said, Astralis had a good plant there where they had Ivy smoked off, so they could basically more or less safely plant the bomb on the T side of the bomb train. Otherwise, it's going to be really risky for the CTs to try and push for the smoke to stop the plant. So they're just concentrating on retaking afterwards. Again, having Mo alive at the back is always going to be a problem once those smokes disappear, while people try and find angles and so on. So Gambit doing a very good job at the moment.
Yeah, it's pretty cool too to see them mixing up their CD setups on the yard. That's often going to be kind of a problem to solve. Is our T aggressors, will they play it very fast? Will they play slower rounds, pick-based rounds? And as the CTs, you can respond with them in a multitude of ways. We've already seen they're playing very close and then playing very far back, depending on how they're going to interpret Astralis and what they're going to be coming at them with. And of course, if they're able to keep track of the economy well, they'll if they can say, okay, it's very likely that an AWP's going to be in the hands of Astralis, we're going to be up against in more of a kind of pick-based situation. So what we don't want to happen is to basically get caught out with a fast push. We want to play a bit further back, maybe challenge them. It's really up to them. I mean, with Mo hitting his shots already, if he can go toe-to-toe with the Vice, that's already a big battle won for Gambit.
Yeah, and Gambit, they were a bit of a surprise, you could say, coming into this tournament. But also I know that they've been working really hard this entire time. As soon as they qualified, they've been working super hard preparing for this tournament. So who knows what they have in store. But they're looking solid for the time being. Again, they have a 4-round advantage. We have about a minute of pause, so I think it's a tactical timeout. Indeed it is, as it says on your screen. And wow, the vote has gone from, I think at the beginning of this, Gambit were like 3% or something. But now, obviously, there are more votes, but people are definitely favouring those. So you fickle fans just deserted your Astralis team and have moved straight to Gambit.
And it's very cool to see that we're getting a tactical pause from Carrigan here so early.
Yes.
After 6 rounds. It's actually quite uncommon to see that. And, of course, Astralis have tried to run a few different types of rounds with their money. Because they've been getting the bomb plants, they've been able to actually field proper buys. So they've been able to try a lot of stuff already. So now Carrigan's going to take all that information and try to see what he can come up with to actually tackle the defense of Gambit. And so far, Gambit hitting their shots. For me, that would have been the first battle. Can they match up individually? That was highlighted on the desk as well. They need at least 3 players to be fragging hard to survive the onslaught of Astralis and their skill.
Yeah, and speaking of fragging, we've seen what Adren is capable of online. When he used to play from Kazakhstan, we'd call him the clutch king with 100 ping. Yeah. Now he's on land, so he's only going to be ever more dangerous. It seems that Astralis are going for the buy here. We're going to have the AKs coming out. They've got quite a reasonable amount of nades and Molotovs as well. I mean, there's a few things they could potentially try to do here, like try and bait out more of the CC grenades, have some harassment going on towards B in terms of... it depends on what they need for their utility when they actually go for an execute, for example. Right. But, like throwing a smoke down towards the connector area to see if it baits some counter grenades as well. There are ways to pop flash that and just generally create a nuisance of yourself. But here we go.
And we're back into the action, and look at this Gambit. They're going to try to actually put some pressure with 3 men towards the secret area. This is a really nice play. When a team's done a timeout, you're going to try to blow up their plan for the next round by doing something a little bit aggro. And we'll see that Gambit aren't overcommitting to it as well. I really like this from them. They're taking it very easy, not trying to really just rush in there. But here, finally, we'll get the engagement, and a trade comes in, 1 for 1. But how will this pan out? We'll see Astralis after this. They'll back off, reassess the situation, lots of time left. What's the play now, 4 versus 4?
Yeah, they can't really move too quickly on this because they've got 2 players stuck on the wrong end of Ivy at the moment. So if they choose to rotate, it's going to be quite troublesome. The smokes are going down. We'll see if they start to move close. They're not at the moment, so perhaps they are trying to bait some counter nades from the CTs here. But here we go, Dupree and Cajun B moving down Ivy at the moment. Hooch still on the wrong side of the smoke, and this is being quite a distraction for the Gambit Gaming side. They need to be careful about what the other 3 teammates are up to here from Astralis as they start to move in towards the A bomb site.
This is a really nice movement from Astralis, actually pincering in from both alley and the yard area, using the smokes wonderfully to get onto the bomb site. 3 versus 4 though, as they've not been able to make a frag. The bomb is trying to go down here, but Waylander's very close. He'll peek over the top of the train. Device with the save there. Waylander will go down. Cajun B now chiming in as well. Hooch out of the picture, and now the pressure starts to fall onto Gambit as the bomb is ticking away. We've got Mo with that AWP, and this is the time to shine. As he looks for the angles. Oh, he misses the quick shot, and that's Carrigan with the frag, as Dozier is left with a mere 7 points of health. A lot of work to do. This is a very hard spot to play from. But do they know where he is? It's not going to matter, Device. He'll have the angle, and looks like that strategy is going to work out.
Gambit did a good job of not giving Astralis the frags. You could see they were just like, Astralis were like, where are the engagements? Looking around, waiting for a CT to pop out while they're going for the plant. They're even going for fakes with so many people alive. And a quick point, when Zipex is at the top of the stairs near Pop, it's actually an advantageous angle for him in the sense that when the CTs come up, their shadow exposes them before they get to see him. But of course they had the trade situation there, so there we go. Didn't work out in their favour, but they have a chance to reset the economy of Astralis now, with only 2 of their players surviving. Astralis will have 4 nades, as will Gambit, after winning a number of rounds in a row. So it's going to be just Waylander on his own so far on the B bomb site, with 4 on A, Adren rotating between A and B.
And one thing to note as well, we saw it in the video of Carrigan. You know, this is the guy that's going to enable his team massively. He's got the AWP drop for a device. He's on a Tech 9 alone. So not only that, this actually obviously enables certain options for Carrigan that are less, would be more risky for a guy with a rifle. Carrigan can go and get some information. He can play aggressively. He can try and draw fire for a refrag from a teammate to gain some ground into the map. There's lots of options for Astralis to play with, but now they're making their opponent's Gambit sweat a little bit, playing a slower round instead. As you can see on the mini-map, they are spread out pretty much everywhere they could possibly be on the T side or the non-contested side of the map.
Indeed, now we've got Astralis with 2 players smoked off towards Ivy. Device is getting a boost over the smoke, but that smoke is high enough to render the boost useless for the time being. Hooch, again, holding an off angle. So we'll see, 49 seconds left on the clock. Waylander's going to spot 2 towards B. We'll have to wonder if that's going to cause a bit of a rotation. Indeed, Mo is getting closer to connector now rather than playing on the bomb train itself. But the bomb is delivered towards A main. Cajun B still sitting towards Ivy. So many options open to Astralis, but 35 seconds left on the clock. And it seems they're going to go for the A split again.
Yeah, and you can see that from the minimap that the players from Gambit are actually quite isolated, and the smokes are only going to serve to isolate them further. Dozier is quite forward, just past the quad position, and he's alone out there. He's got no support. Dozier has to do a lot of damage in this position, and so far it's actually looking like they're just going to run straight past him. So Dozier now could flank them, but no, Device gets the quick kill. Trace coming in now as Mo goes close with the AWP, but still lots more work to do as we have a flank coming in potentially as well from Adren. Big plays possible here from Gambit.
Yeah, Mo is on the site. That's going to be really dangerous, but Adren gets taken out first. There goes Mo as well. Waylander taking down Device, but he's got 2 more to find with his teammate coming in. Down goes Waylander, so it's Hooch alone. He's got no smoke for any shenanigans, so this is going to be very tricky. Doesn't really have the time to get both players. Tries to touch the bomb. Zipex peaks at exactly the right time. That's going to be a big impact on the CT economy now. They're going to have a decision to make. 2 players with less than $3,000, so it might be an eco from them. Indeed, it won't be. They're going to go straight back in again. Lacking the helmet, getting some M4, some FAMAS. Those years yet to... Well, he's gone for a Deagle and armor as well, so they don't want to give up any rounds just yet, it seems.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, the money from Astralis, everyone's just shy of 2K, so if they don't get a plant and Gambit win this round, Astralis' money's wrecked again. So this is a really smart choice from Gambit. They're playing the economical battle. They've already got 5 rounds on CT. That's good. And the push is going to be received here from Gambit onto that A-bomb site. Look how fast Cajun is, though. Mo is going to be okay with this. He's going to hold the line. And Adren is going to peek forwards onto Yard. It's not looking so good for him. But still, we're looking for that bomb to go down from Astralis as there's absolute chaos in between all the smokes and distractions here on the site. But the bomb will finally be planted. Mo up in heaven, able to exert his positioning, superior positioning over on to Carrigan. So 3 versus 3 now.
Waylander has gone towards the main device, is ready and waiting, but is going to be distracted by people in other positions around Ivy. Dupree gets taken down by Hooch. Down to a 2 versus 2. There is a kit on Hooch, but again, they don't have any nades, so advantage Astralis here. Zipex popping out at the right time, down goes Mo. So it looks like Gambit are headed towards an eco. Hooch can only save in this situation. Gets past the angle on device, but can he get far enough away to survive the bomb blast? Astralis closing the gap to just 1 round now. So after a rocky start, they have finally managed to put Gambit on the eco.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been making... They completely turned it around, to be honest. If you look at the first few rounds, they were really struggling to find ways to get entries, ways to even win some of the battles in Yard. But now with a slower approach, using very good coordination on some of these attacks through alley into Yard, things are looking pretty good here for Astralis now. But that said, we've had a lot of close situations. That last round was pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the scoreboard, you can see how many plants Astralis have got. So they are the first half of these rounds is going well. It's just about closing them out, and they're doing that at the moment, which has impacted the Gambit economy. So we've got a bit of a boost coming in for Hooch. In many of the previous rounds, Astralis have had 2 people over towards Ivy. This time they have none. Going for a super fast plant. Those who can't see enough in the smoke, not going to get the frag. Bomb down, and they are getting taken down like flies at the moment. There's only 3 of them left. The M4 is down as well. Maybe someone's going to try and go and save that. Astralis players all over the shop, and it's putting in great work. Device is the only one to go down so far. Waylander looking for some Juan Diggs, but not today. He will be the Pinata rather than Dupree.
Yeah, and I love those really fast rounds. When you're looking at an anti-eco or anti-force buy, you basically give the opponents the least time to reposition or to fire shots, or if they do get a kill, to isolate the weapons, pick them up and so on. You just go in there and you end it straight away. And that's a really nice and confident round for Astralis to win. And they will tie things up now. 5-5. Gambit with already a dangerous amount of rounds so early into this first half as we enter the last third of it. But now it's back to the big guns. Gambit lacking a few grenades, but otherwise the AWP is back onto Mo. And
Hooch and Adren going to get flashed immediately as they try to come out of CT connector. And Cajun B's almost all the way into Ivy from A main. So this is going to be a very difficult hold from Gambit Gaming. We've got Hooch in the smoke at the moment. Trades coming in. Again, all the variants around the trains. Hooch finding the right angle at the right time. Device going to trade. 3 versus 2. Advantage Gambit Gaming. Bomb is on the floor as well. Getting collected by Astralis. Device will be the man carrying the plan. Dupree down to 20 HP. But the question is, where is Dupree? In fact, he is flanking the A site, but Gambit have taken passive positions. Will they know, though, to check CT, which is where Dupree appears to be headed?
Yeah, Dupree's the real playmaker here. I mean, of course, the bomb is on device, and he's got an AWP as well, and he's over by the white halls. So Dupree's got to be the guy that is able to get the info and call basically how device is going to make something of this round. And there's the first frag. Dupree really using the element of surprise, and that's going to just completely snap device into that B-bomb site to combine with Dupree. And Dupree's quite low at this point. In goes Adren. No idea where one of the 2 players is. And there's the peek coming in. The shot we missed from Device. That might be key now as Adren gets some extra positioning. He closes the distance, but Device will silence him with that AWP. Now it's just on Mo, and he does not like his chances with the AWP. See if he can get something done. Quick whiff there as he finds Dupree. And he's just going to go for it. Mo is definitely trying to do something crazy here. Picks up the M4. Device is going to get it done with the pistol. And that will be the end of that.
It's really worth noting how many open plants Astralis are putting down on the B-bomb site. I really think that a lot of teams handicap themselves by just going for that default plant where they're very limited in how they can defend the bomb. It's a bit similar to Mirage when you plant on default compared to Triple, where you can hold it from T-spawn, where they're planting it on the side of the train so the CTs are completely exposed when they're trying to defuse. There's no safe angle to try and defuse that. You can be sandwiched between players at the front and the back rather than just relying on a Molotov where they might have a smoke, for example. So that's definitely paying off and making things a lot more difficult for the CT side. Going to be a fast push now with Gambit on the eco again. So far so good. First frag going in their favor. They've got an AK and they will run away with that advantage rather than be lambs to the slaughter to Zipex's AK.
Adren has armor, so maybe Mo could throw it to him.
Indeed he could. He's got a CZ in the hole, so that is definitely an idea they should push forward with. They do have a coach behind them as well, so somebody should be making that call, although who knows where they are on the map. Device going to take down Hooch, just firing some shots, running distraction with this 5-7. Bomb's being planted as well, 4-4.
Yeah, this is an interesting spot right now because Gambit have players from 3 different angles of attack, and with some deagles, an AK-47 which is now out of the picture, things can happen. And there's another AK as Dozier hits a shot with a deagle, and there's a little flash to use as well. Dren jumping in with the CZ, Zipex able just barely to get the kill in the end. Dozier going to put an extra little bit more work just in the end at the outside of the round, and it's going to be a victory for Astralis. 7-5.
I'm sure Dozier's girlfriend will approve of the damage done in that round.
It's quite cool actually how Astralis they've been trying to disable Mo's usefulness in defending Yard by they always manage to get the smoke on him just in time to completely isolate him and make him useless to gain lots of positioning in Yard. That's been working out quite well for them in some of these rounds. Yeah,
I mean they have a really nice pop flash to flash players coming into CT connector, but I'm surprised they haven't rotated Mo a bit with Diop again. Astralis have not been consistently popping Waylander's position with a flash consistently, like they just did there, for example, where it was correct. But, you know, that is a place where you can hold with an AWP or something like that. But assuming they do it correctly, then you're not going to put him there. But there we go. So this time they're not going to be fast into the A-bomb site. Again, Device and Cajun B going to be a dynamic duo towards towards Ivy, excuse me. Carrigan's just moving around the shower area with the bomb. While Dupree sits and pops, so they have options available to them. And they have 1:10 on the clock. Seems Carrigan might be going over towards A main, so it seems the split might be on, and that pick from Dupree may speed things up here.
Yeah, I was going to say, Dozier is playing really far forward there, just on top of the train. He could be spotted from main and from Pop Dog. Of course, Mo was periodically covering main, but not all the time, so a pretty risky play out of Dozier there, and he does go down. And now this 5 versus 4, that's the dream there for Carrigan, because just with a minute left, he's able to call a nice strategy here to just play the trades out and get it done. But it looks like they might try to fake Gambit on a B take here and just capitalize on a rotation from the A players as they move towards that B-bomb site with a Yard push with the 3 that are there from Astralis. So this could be quite dangerous.
Seems Dupree might be the sacrificial lamb while his team moves towards the A-bomb site. Now Gambit are completely out of position. Mo moves into B, gets smoked off from connector now. Bomb goes down. Hooch is the only saving grace, gets taken down by Device. So this is a massive problem for Gambit. 3 versus 4. Running around to CT. They may not get there to support Mo in time. He gets double flash. He has to move back as well. Waylander stuck behind the smoke. He's going to get a frag onto Carrigan regardless. Again, they've got 1 flashbang on the CT side, and that is about it. They need frags. It's a good one from Mo through the smoke onto Device, but you can see Cajun B on E-Box there. He's been spotted, but he can just waste time now, losing the duel to Waylander. Zipex versus Gambit. He goes down as well, so finally Gambit will get another round on the board.
Yeah, but that, I mean, Astralis, that really shouldn't have happened. They were able to, they made almost like the perfect play there. It all worked according to plan. As you said, they had the sacrificial lamb faking B, so they got a rotation of players from the CT side into that B-bomb site. And there was one guy isolated on A. They got the kill immediately, got the plant, open plant, and they had the numbers advantage still. How on earth were Gambit able to pull that one off? Astralis aren't going to be happy with losing that round. And we'll have to see if Gambit can actually string some momentum together here in the last couple.
Indeed, it was an expensive round for them, having lost so many. So Hooch is going to be reduced to a mag 7 for this round. We'll see if he chooses to play the pop position, as JW often has. Indeed, Hooch is going to be playing Ivy with a mag 7, so that should be a bit interesting. He does have a smoke, so that isn't a terrible way to use that weapon and keep the rifles elsewhere. See the AWP moving towards the B-bomb site now. Lots of angles to check. People can be standing in connector, standing between the bomb train itself as well. So it can be quite tricky to go for the peak from upper with no supports.
Yeah, and they're actually going to go for a fast B play. They haven't really been doing this, and they even have a lurker in Cajun B towards Ali, but is that even necessary? They are taking Yard on the B Yard so incredibly fast. that Gambit are completely screwed right now. 2 players left. KGB finally announces his presence in the back, and it's going to be Mo versus the world.
Yeah, that was really horrible for Gambit because I think both B players got caught with really bad timing where they were getting grenades out or deciding not to throw grenades, getting their weapons back out and couldn't really fire. And you saw the second player lost control of his spray in the smoke and just got wrecked. So that was a massive disaster for Gambit. After winning 1 round, after losing 6 in a row, then getting reset straight afterwards, it seems that Astralis may run away with the last round of this map.
Yeah, it definitely looks that way. The buy
Last
for
round and
Gambit
a half,
is pretty shaky. They've got 2 FAMAS. That's the only thing they have to show in the rifles.
It's a jumble sale buy then.
But let's, like, so far, every time that they've had a buy like this, they've actually pushed inner. So Astralis are going to be very wise to these kinds of pushes, and they're just going to completely just go for it. Dupree straight out of the yard. They're not taking anything for chance. But that said, that push on inner does come in, and the trade comes in as well. So Astralis 4 versus 4, and they don't have any positioning outside yet.
Well, here comes the bomb with Carrigan, so it looks like they're going to commit. Device going to take down Mo, some damage done to Device, but it's a 4 versus 3, and there's only 1 rifle on the 3 Gambit players. Again, they're going to have to rely on a bit of variance, just popping around these trains at the right time. Hooch coming in for the flank, could get 2, does get 2, just about. That will change everything. Now it's going to be really hard for Astralis to plant the bomb, but they've got time on their side. Adren down to 8 HP, and he's gone. So it's Hooch with an AWP and a kit. They've spotted his position, and that's going to be an instant B rotation.
Yeah, and as far as an ace go, there's nothing really to speak of for Astralis. They have 1 flashbang, so Hooch can definitely pull something magical out of the bag in this situation.
But look at where the bomb is. Zipex is in CT spawn right now. The bomb is so exposed that he doesn't even need to be in B.
All right, well, let's see if Hooch can make some magic happen. It's going to have to be some sick shots. Smoke is smart, and he's trying to get some players to peek. Look at the spam coming through the smoke hit. 9 HP left for Hooch. Things are getting worse and worse as that bomb ticks further and further. He does find the kill onto Carrigan, but Zipex has got full HP and still...
He can't find a bomb.
Hooch has no idea where the bomb is, let alone his opponent, so looks like he will
Where's
be
the
closed
bomb,
out.
Dan? He can't find the bomb.
Yeah.
That's one of those situations where you go down, you see where the bomb's planted, and then you just think to yourself, fudge.
Well, I mean, hey, Astralis, they're going to be saying fudge a lot, if they lose this pistol round, because Gambit are going to be able to field a pretty strong, potentially strong T side. And are we going to see 2 upsets? Do you think that's realistic? From what you've seen of Gambit, are you feeling like they've got a chance here?
I don't know. I think strategically, Astralis should be a little bit more solid. I mean, you saw how fast they were moving into main. Again, I mean, generally speaking, on this map, the spawn times have always been a problem, looking at connector and A main, because the CTs always get to connector first and they can get an orb looking towards main. But Astralis had a timing with a flashbang where the CTs, if they came anywhere out of CT connector, they were completely blind, and that worked in their favor. But there were also situations where, for example, there'd be a smoke down on Pop Dog, and Adren would be standing next to the smoke looking towards main, but he would still somehow get wrecked by one of the Ts. He had no support from his teammates either, so he just got lost with no return frags. So, I mean, from those kind of things that we saw in that round, in that half, I have to expect that Astralis should have a strong T side as well. And I think that Gambit will probably struggle to adjust with that.
Yeah, it's definitely should be hard for Gambit. And again, they do have that reputation that they're supposed to be able to crush the lesser teams. And again, we might be starting to see that there is a legitimate argument for calling Gambit a dark horse in this tournament if they're able to keep the individual level up, because the individual level's been pretty decent. Now we're going to start to see, as you're alluding to, how's the strategy side really going to play out on the T side here for Gambit. And again, it all will really start with the pistol, because kind of like Cobble, it really kind of sucks on this map if you start the CT side off without the utility to defend some of these harder executes that we'll see into the A-bomb site and sometimes the B side as well. But it looks like we'll be jumping into the pistol momentarily, and a lot of pressure on Astralis here, as 6 rounds is quite a lot for Gambit.
I'd say Envy at a dark horse, Dan.
Envy
Been saying it since Gfinity. I was ahead of my time.
Okay, that's actually...
You're welcome. Gambit have got 3 players with Kevlar moving onto the T side. There are 2 smokes as well onto Hooch and Mo. Mo has a Molotov. Maybe that suggests the standard B play that we all know and like to watch. The bomb is headed in that direction. Specs trying to go for a pre-fire, but moves away just before it happens. Bit of a rotation coming in from Device, moving towards B as well, but Gambit have not committed to the cause. In fact, they have decoys over there with 2 players over towards Ivy.
Yeah, this is quite cool, isn't it? They'll actually be ending up going for that classic 3-pronged attack onto the A bomb site. And there is the first smoke to make Astralis run around, reposition, and let's see if these T players can capitalize. Dupree, though, unknown angles from him, finding the shot in the side of the head, executing these T players, but it's looking like an even field at the moment, though the bomb is down in the yard. Dren will take down Cajun B. Bomb still needs to be planted, though, and Zipex, he gets a few shots, he has to get the frag, and he will. 1 versus 2 now, Zipex with a big clutch on his hands. He needs this one. And Adren and Hooch know where he is. That's a really bad situation. The only thing he has working in his favor is that the bomb is down, but Adren will hit the headshot. And that's going to be the pistol round awarded to Gambit. This is going to be rough now for Astralis.
Clutch King with 100 ping. Quite a nice pistol round from Gambit. I thought they were going for a bog standard B play, but no, it was decoys down. And then that forced Astralis to rotate a player through CT spawn, which Waylander quickly dispatched of. Insta-trade, though, by Astralis, but there we go. Things went in favor of Gambit. So it's a good scout. It's a double scout, indeed. So it's a good start from Gambit, but I do wonder what Astralis will have to offer once the buy rounds come in. But for now, we've got double scouts to contend with. We'll see who gets popped first. Adren's going to get tagged instantly. That's what I'm talking about. Tries to get out of A main fast, but CTs get there faster, so he's going to get scouted.
Yep, and the action is pretty fast here, as we'll see the Gambit playing this correctly. If you're up against scouts especially, you want to have a fast round, get it on the site. Don't let them take shots and pick you apart. Bomb goes down, the pressure immediately on Astralis now, as Waylander picks up the first kill. Now, how much more damage can the CTs get? It looks like Dupree is going to kick things off here with that Deagle. Now, 2 T players moving to his position, but he is just snapping heads off with this Deagle now. 2 players standing for Gambit against 3. Doja picks one up with that P90, but now he's all that's left in this defensive effort. He's stuck by Pop Dog, and the defense is coming in. They're trying to hold him, and there it is, the Cajun B with the scout. The Cajun B with the scout is going to pick up the kill on the defuse. Astralis get it done with the double scout.
Double scout indeed. Well, they got a bit of a war cry from them as well. Tongues out. So there we go. Astralis back to winning ways, doing what Gambit did to them, in fact, but with different weaponry. And these 2 Deags came in. Oh, the meat shots. Sending them to the butchers. That was nasty. That was nasty indeed, and you have to wonder if that will be a problem in the confidence of Gambit going forward. They're going to go for the force buy. Triple Tech 9, Galil AK buy from them. They've got quite a bit of utility in terms of grenades as well. We've got the Scout continuing onto Cajun B, and we've got an AK on device as well, and 3 M4. So who will this favor? We've got Zipex playing close. If they were charging towards the B bomb site, he would hear them from there as well, but they're going to be sneaky beaky-like as the tail goes, but the frags are going the way of the CTs. Waylander, Dozier, Mo all go down. This is not good for Gambit Gaming at all.
Yeah, this was their chance to actually make good of that last round and just reset the CTs, but it has failed. Their effort for the fast B play, all that remains is a Hooch with 1 HP. And that's it's not going to get you very far against 4 fully helped players. And the round will be cleaned up. 11-7 Astralis look to stabilize their economy in this situation. The lack of a bomb plant from Gambit as well, and the lack of frags really leaves them without many options. Had they gotten some frags there and a bomb plant, they could have forced up again and really put the pressure on Astralis. But this is now coming towards that position where Astralis can rest comfortably. They just have to clean this one up with 5 left alive and no bomb plant for Gambit. And Astralis' economy is in a really great place.
So, Gambit with the odd P250. That's literally all they have to offer.
Not even a
in
flash.
This round. This is yeah, indeed. This is a nothing round. And again, this is one of those situations where, well, this is not an expected situation. That gun is going to be hard to retrieve, though. Device holding an angle. Cajun B can retain his position towards connector and watch upper, as we said a few rounds ago. I was going to say it's one of those situations where, you know, perhaps for the cost of a P250, you buy a flashbang instead and have a strat to try and get a bomb plant down, because that is the priority in this round. Yes, they've got 1 kill, but really the bomb plant would be perhaps so much more beneficial for them on this occasion. Moving towards the A site now. Mo was kind of halfway towards Dozier in Ivy with the bomb, and is now moving back to A main and is now moving back to Dozier. So it doesn't seem like Gambit really know what they want to do in this situation. So it seems like it's going to be a 3-man Ivy push. So they're going to funnel with no armor or much weaponry or any nades versus Dupree is going to be standing there with a silenced M4. But being a man down, Astralis will have to share the responsibilities. He's going to get... Did he get dinked?
Wow.
That's not good. He didn't get a single kill either. That was a nice pop flash though, but Dupree's gone down as well. So Gambit Gaming are causing big problems here for Astralis. Karrigan goes down as well. They haven't got a single frag here. Cajun B's got 3 HP down. I've got more fingers. He's gone down. 4 versus 1. 20 seconds left on the clock. There are tagged Gambit Gaming players, but the bomb's being planted on the wrong side. Device is in trouble, Dan.
Yeah, so even if they lost this round, okay, well, let's see if Device can actually save this one. He's got 3 players to find. Of course, he's got a kit, full HP. Oh, just barely missing that angle, and looks like he's going to take just a little bit of damage, down to 76. So that initial mistake won't cost him too dearly, but that bomb is really taking away, and there's 2 players still left to find. This is really, really difficult. He's, of course, going to be looking at the most likely spot towards Pop Dog, but where is the second player as well? He's going to spot both.
Oh no!
Dren is going to crater, fall to his death, of course. Very well played here by Hooch. He's going to force Device to go close, so he cannot have time to get the defuse in, but Dren with a very embarrassing mistake there. But still, even more embarrassing is that Astralis lose even a player to that.
That is hilarious. Adren was in main, he went up the ladder, and then he couldn't see the bomb, so he tried to jump over to the other train and just completely failed. I can only assume he jumped with the M4 out so he could shoot fast because he had low HP, but he was too slow, Dan. He was too slow.
Well, Gambit were going to buy next round anyway. All they needed to do that round and to be really happy was to get 2 or 3 kills, which would mean that Astralis would be forced to eco if they lose the next round. So that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't... That should, like...
That's
two frags should have never happened there. Never mind the bomb plant and an explosion. That is insane.
For a world-class team, they look like amateurs in that round, and that can't stand.
No, it cannot. They have a 3-round lead, but where is the temperament there? That was a colossal fudge up, Dan. as a chocolatier might say.
Yeah. Yeah, this is bad. Astralis have to win this round to recover here.
Yeah, they need to put it behind them. And we saw Mag 7s in the first half being used in close quarters towards Ivy, should there be a push on Ivy. Zipex is on B with a Mag 7. That's a bit of a different situation should a push come in that direction. We've got Device playing upper B with the AWP. And again, he can't really afford people to come too close to Zipex, considering he has a Mag 7. But he's going to move his position towards Connector. But is he going to get there fast enough? Karrigan goes down to a Dren.
Yeah, Cajun B's been spotted by Heaven as well. He doesn't even get a frag from that position. Has to move around. That's going to give a lot of time here for Gambit to push onto the bomb site. They're still left with 4 players moving in close. Oh, Mag comes in. Zipex will get the kill on the 3rd go of it. Waylander will fall. That is going to bring things to a 3 versus 3. And with the bomb not yet down for Gambit, this is going to be a little bit more tricky for them to win this round now, as Astralis have more time to wrap around the alleyway. And there the bomb goes down. You can see that Dren's a little bit taxed left and right. Zipex making good of the Mag 7. That's the 2nd frag in from him now with that. And a Dren in a 1 versus 3. Can he get it done this time? That bomb ticking away. AK 79 HP. Smoke goes down. There's the first player. 2nd one from the spray. And there goes the defuse. And he's got to go for the reload. Is Dupree actually sticking it? No, he goes back off of it. And he gets the frag with a mere 1 single point of health remaining. Dupree will get the defuse and save the day for Astralis, and I fear for them what would have happened mentally if they would have lost this round.
What is this match? This is bananas. I'm wondering if Gambit are going to go for the Force, because they've done so much damage to the CT economy.
Yeah,
because when you trade rounds like this, you often just get Force after Force after Force after Force, and they are going to do exactly that. And AK, a Galil coming out, they know the implications if they can break the CT economy here, if they can win 1 more round.
Also potentially break the mindset of Astralis. Just keep them under pressure. Do not give them any space to breathe. That you have to make them feel that every mistake can cost them the match. And that's what Astralis feel like right now, because their economy is going to be pushed to the brink. So let's see if Gambit can make this work, though. A clean round, and Astralis are back in business.
Indeed, but this is looking pretty dirty at the moment. Device going for a peek at upper B. Didn't work out for him, getting a bit tagged and moving well away. All the way through CT in towards the bomb site, where there are now 4 players. So that glass will be smashed, which can suggest an execute towards the A site. This can either be a fake or a committal. There's no one towards Ivy for the T's. The smoke towards Ivy will disappear. Device holding that for the moment. He can look towards a main where there are 3 players at present, should he need to. So we've got the nade start to go in, which will actually smoke off Device's position, but the smoke was blocked by his teammates, so maybe there's an opportunity for him. KGB getting the first frag, but Dozy is going to get traded immediately after taking down Device, and the T's will move on to the A-bomb site.
Yeah, this is what's scary right now. That Deagle from Mo, not going to do much. The HE will finish him off. Adren still has an AK to play with, though, but that said, Carrigan has got something to say about it. Now it's just left to Hooch. He picks up an AK, gets himself a frag, 1 versus 3 with 30 seconds left on the clock. Got the bomb on his back as well, and his position is known. And Dupree will alleviate him the burden of life, James.
And there it is. Astralis are 3 rounds away from taking the match, so the force fight did not pay off for Gambit. They left with an average of about 2,000, 2,100, so they're going to have to go for the eco, which means unless Astralis throw another round, they should move ever closer to the magical 16th.
Yeah, this is. I mean, okay, 13-8. And if you look at the economy, how it is at the moment for Gambit, obviously Astralis could do to, to build some.
Dan, Hooch bought a Galil, and he has $200 left, and he has no armor.
That is...
And that's the only thing that's been bought by anyone in this.
That is clearly a mistake.
Yeah.
That is clearly a mistake.
And he's the in-game leader, is he not?
Perhaps
so how is it,
perhaps he has a button for timeout, and it's right next to the Galil.
He has a button. He has a button for buy on the eco.
Oh dear, that's a mistake for sure. And this is a spot where they don't have Astralis on the ropes. Again, you know, Astralis are looking better and better now, but still, you know, they just need that 1 round to go their way, the next buy round, and Astralis are definitely going to be feeling the pressure again. Either way, it looks like we'll get the B play out of Gambit with the Khalil on Hooch, and Zipex is in a pretty good position here to deal with it, and he's got support, of course, from Device long range with the AWP, so Astralis should be fine.
Yes,
holding this.
Quite a smart setup. Again, this is something I mentioned that NBK would do, for example, but obviously being an eco, Zipex has positioned himself further away from lower, and the shot is missed with the AWP. They are streaming onto the site. We should see a bomb plant now, super fast, and they've got 2 rifles on this occasion, 4 versus 4. Can Astralis do a clean retake?
But the problem is the grenades as well, and as we're going to start to see that happen because there's no armor as well, and they don't have any positioning on the yard. It's just Waylander who's pushed up, but he's going to be likely dealt with quickly, but he's actually going to fall back to a safety, but he's got very, very low amounts of health. 9 versus 3 players. He's being spotted now, gets the kill, but the trade comes in a timely fashion, and the round will be secured by Astralis. A little bit messy, losing 3 players. I mean, I think Zipex was a little unlucky only to get 1 there.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive though.
And Device also missed his first shot, and had he not missed that, and Zipex gets you more than 1, then they maybe lose max just Zipex.
Yeah, that plant is actually massive. So you might be right, because there's an instant timeout here for Gambit, so I think he probably tried to press a timeout button and bought a Galil instead.
Yeah, it's probably like on his numpad or something.
Yeah, but
like
either way they got a plant, and they did quite considerable damage to the CT economy, so if they can take this run, then there are good implications for Gambit Gaming, but they are 6 rounds behind Astralis at the moment, and that is quite a large deficit against a team to the strength of the Danes. So you can see Hooch, because of his faux pas, will have no grenades in this. He had a clean 3,700 at the beginning, so he's got his armor and his AK, and he has nothing else.
The Galil, man, that's super. It's got to be a buy script. It's like just buy scripts, and the timer button's just right there or something.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it probably helped them do damage to the Astralis economy. So in a way, even though it was an accident, perhaps it will work in their favor. In terms of economy, should they be able to take this round? I mean, if they don't take this round, then it's pretty much game over at that point.
I guess maybe there's some serendipity there, but yeah, that was a bit weird, wasn't it? Either way, 14-8, it does feel like Astralis are kind of getting back into the swing of things now, and of course, you know, their money's still not perfect, but they only need 2 more rounds now, so it's not too dangerous to them, because they have a buffer that if they have to eco, or if they could even quasi or force buy. There are lots of spots for them to work with, or they could even just all they need to do is put themselves in the positions where they have the most buys, and they have bunch of rounds to do that with. So yeah, Astralis can play from comfort, and Gambit, they can't quite find any consistency from their T side just yet.
This is why people should play with 60% keyboards, Dan, because it's almost impossible to press a button by mistake, Dan, because there are no other buttons. So okay. My keyboard has no F keys, it has no arrows, it has no number pad, no page up, no page down, none of that nonsense. 60% baby, master race, you're welcome.
To be fair, if it's, LAN was for LAN. If you're traveling, you'd LAN keyboard. I mean,
I've got my 14-inch laptop set up in my hotel with my 60% keyboard and my mouse and my mouse pad and my bungee and my headset. I'm not messing around.
I did the same thing, when I was traveling to tournaments and playing. You got to get a small keyboard, because that's the thing that you can get screwed over on the most is like desk space, especially back in the old days. Desk space could be brutal. But anyway, the timeout has taken place. Will Astralis respond and throw in an aggression? They have the rounds to take risks, so let's see if they do that. And it looks like they are going to. They're going to push a couple players up the inner area towards the stairs. We saw this happen in the last match as well. And boom, there it is, the last half, sorry. And they get the information, they get the kills. Yeah,
that's favourable. KGB just needs to survive now. Gets around the corner and it's got device to hold his back. Smoke goes down, job done. 4 versus 3. Gambit are in a nasty spot. It's not going to be very easy. They're very out of position as well. There's going to be a clash towards Ivy coming up shortly. It's looking the wrong way. Oh, Carrigan just gets his pistol out at the wrong time.
And the funny thing is he switches away from it when he could have used it as well.
That's just, that is Counter-Strike. Just the timing is... Oh,
it happens to everybody.
It's brutal, isn't it? It's brutal, Dan.
Gets us all in the end. Timing. So...
Well, this is interesting now. We have all the CTs spread out all over the place. We've got Device. He knows that there's one person towards Ivy. We've got one person in the connector, which is Dupree, and then one person towards B, playing around the site with all of 11 HP, which is Cage and B. Whereas we've got 2 of the Gambit players coming towards B, so perhaps they can get a trade and get the bomb down. Cage and B's gone down. That's going to cause a rotation from one of the 2 players. Dupree still looking towards A because the bomb has not been spotted. Bomb's down. He'll start to move now.
And that should be it. This Device had to hit that. If Device gets that kill there, he can actually hold those channels and give the space for Dupree to actually work with him. But this is, you can see Dupree's just bunnying around. And the round's going to go to Gambit. And a cursory look at the economy from my PC, I can see that the money is pretty awful for Astralis now. And they want to get full buys in. So we'll probably see just a pistol maybe from Cage and B, maybe drop a couple, but they want to keep their economy in really good stead here because they just need to win 2 rounds. That's all they need.
If you have a 60% keyboard, tweet me a picture of it. Otherwise, you're a liar and a thief.
Are they really a thief, Chase?
Look, I'm just dramatic, all right? You don't have to question it.
All right.
Astralis going to be taking care of their economy, just going for a few P250s. Dupree does like to get in a bit of work with that Deagle, so he will opt for one of those. And looking at the money left, KGB's on 3k, so he can perhaps drop an AWP for Device a bit later on. Other than that, they're more or less on the 2 grand, Dan. The 2k, whatever you like to call it, in your respective prisons. Okay, so we've got Zipex with the P250. That's the 1-shot range. He manages to find himself with a headshot. So, and there's only one player there, Waylander, and so that means that he could just get the gun. If Zipex wins this battle, he gets the gun, which is always nice. Waylander's just holding for now. And you can see Gambit just playing it really cautiously. Although that said, the fact that Waylander is out there by himself is a little bit scary, to be honest. They're pretty much all everywhere by themselves, apart from the 2 towards A main. An inner push or an alley push could very likely to happen in a round like this. So I don't like this from Gambit at all. And so far, it looks like it's only Device you can capitalize. Picks up an AK, but almost getting some nice action there onto Waylander. But looks like things are calming down here. So Dupree on the site, going to get forced away, gets his bell rung like he's at church, and Cajun B is the last man standing in the flames. They'll hear the tagging as well. So you can see Waylander was trying to protect the weapon, but then eventually had to move away. Things got a bit awkward there, and Cajun B will survive for now. So we'll see if he gets hunted. But Gambit are headed in the right direction in terms of score. We'll see what Astralis choose to do on the next round. Again, they still have a cushion to play with. That was pretty awkward. You got burned on the ladder like you on Face at League, James. Well, that elo's gone. Oh, I see what you did there. That took me about 3 seconds to realise what you had said. I realised I'm not fast with these things, Dan. But that was very witty from you. I'll ignore that you sound very surprised. So 14-9 Astralis with that eco, not able to do too much. Again, I really felt like that was very risky from Gambit. You know, we saw Astralis in it when they're in that spot. They just hit yard together, get the plant, and they're all playing the trades together with the better weapons. That's sort of how you want to play around like that. The way to play it more or less with the most risk is to isolate your players. Because then if they do push somewhere with 2 or 3 pistols,
it's less likely you're going to kill all those with one guy, and more likely that that guy will maybe get one kill, and then you'll give away a weapon.
So KGB does indeed drop the AWP, or the AWP, if you will, for device. But there is a distinct lack of grenades, lack of flashbangs, lack of smokes from the Astralis side. Does this mean we will see some aggression from the Danes? They won't be able to... Well, Dupree has a smoke, but that's about it. He's towards Ivy, so that's where it may be used. There is a smoke towards B at present as well. Dozier is going to be alone towards the Ivy position, where there are two players, Device and Dupree. Device holding an angle for now, while Adren will be loitering around the A main area. So... Let's see what Gambit opts to do. Dozier coming in, getting the frags there, straight in the face of Device. Dupree forced off the angle, so now there are questions to be raised here for Astralis. Where do they put their people?
As long as there's no more hell raised, I think we've had enough of that. So we'll have to see whether or not Waylander can get this this opening, because that's going to be a pretty big deal here, because that's obviously going to put Astralis under 3 men, and here it is, that one-on-one, very crucial, and Carrigan will win that. He's very low, but that's pretty crucial here. As now Astralis would go 4 versus 4. Of course, they don't know that the assault is coming into A, although now they probably have a pretty good idea. All the nades starting to sail into the bomb site. Good counter grenades coming in from Astralis, though. Will slow down Gambit Gaming's push and allow them to rotate some players. But this is still going to be a tough one to hold. As we get the trades coming in towards the bomb site now, it's all on this here for Gambit. Can they push their way to victory? Hooch and Dozier left now. Dozier on 1 point of health. The bomb is not yet down. Time is ticking. 30 seconds to play with. Hooch with some good tags there, but it's all on to Dozier. 1 point of health.
Even if he frags one person here, there's going to be like 15 to 10 seconds on the clock, and the other person can simply run away because he's probably not going to have enough time to get over towards the bomb. But KGB is in an awkward situation, holds the angle, finds a frag, and that is Astralis on match points.
This has felt like such a grind for Astralis. Like, they've had to really work for these rounds. Even though it's 15-10, and sometimes that can feel like a more of a one-sided game, that this one has definitely not been one-sided. We've had a lot of very close rounds that have come down to the clutches, and so far it's being decided by the fact that Gambit are just a little bit worse on their T side. We saw better strategy and better coordination from the Astralis boys on this one so far, and well, at least we have some more nades here from Astralis in this round, but they got the mag on Zipex. He's going to be playing secret towards inner. Gambit looking like they're going to set up a play into the A yard once again. So they want the chaos, James.
Yeah, there's still a chance for Gambit here, but Dupree's pushed through the smoke towards Ivy. He's going to have info for his team, but will he get it fast enough? They're pushing into A. Carrigan gets the high ground. Nice flashes from his team as well. Going to slow down the push of Gambit Gaming. Astralis will try to advance. Carrigan goes down though. It's going to be a battle for the bomb train for the site. Trades coming in, bomb goes down, but man advantage to the CTs. Again, Zipex for that Mag 7 causing problems. It's down to Dozier versus 3. They know where he is as well. He's going to have serious problems here. There are 2 smokes to put down if they want to try and defuse the bomb, but they're coming in for the kill. He's on E-box. Can't get any more kills, and that's going to be Astralis 16-10 over Gambit.
Yeah, there you go. Finally, they managed to close out this game, and there was a long period where it looked like maybe that wasn't even going to happen. We've got a pretty damn solid first half coming out of Gambit, giving Astralis a lot of trouble. We had to get the pause in from Carrigan to rectify some of the issues, to find a solution, and they clearly went back to their drills, back to the basics, and it worked out for them. So Astralis back in business, no upset here.
Indeed, Gambit not out of it yet. We will see them again. I was hoping to see a more open map where we could see Mo getting more shots off, and Device as well. I would say he's still relatively fresh to the dedicated AWP role, which he will be comfortable in. But there we go, the hands are shaken and Astralis get off on the right foot. See if Gambit can come back in future matches. So again, it looks good for Gambit at the beginning, but then once Astralis figured a few things out, they just ran away with it. They got, I think, 6 rounds in a row. Then Gambit got a round back on their CT side and then got reset. So in that sense, you could say the latter half of their CT side was a bit of a disaster.
Yeah, absolutely. They never really found any consistency, generally speaking, and it was cool to see that that the way Astralis were playing a lot of their rounds, trying to because when they were finding initial trouble with the yard takes, they realized we have to be able to win these yard takes. So they started approaching it a little bit different. They mixed up the coordination. They played some slower rounds to try to get the pick first before then executing, instead of just going straight in. And we saw that there was less variety too from the on the other side of the coin from Gambit when they were on their T side. They kind of just, there was less it was less elaborate. We're just going to go in now. So there's less methodology, less coordination on how some of the angles you want to attack, some of the players you want to isolate. Because we saw Mo, when Astralis were really hitting it, they were isolating Mo constantly.
Well, we've got Puckett downstairs with Carrigan for an interview, so we'll throw it over to him.
As I am here with Kerrigan, as you said, in-game leader here of Astralis. Before we get to the game and talk about what just happened, I got to talk about the video. We watched a little behind the scenes of what you've been going through in your life as a Counter-Strike professional, but also a student. You graduated with a master's. What was your master's in?
The master's in auditing and business administration, so that's not what I'm doing right now. So, but it's fun to have something different than the pro gaming career.
It's pretty amazing that you are able to make a career out of gaming, though. And last time we talked, it was at X Games. You guys placed outside the medals. You were really down, and that was back when you were on Dignitas. After the event, we were kind of talking back in the cabin, and you guys mentioned maybe you won't be able to afford to continue doing this as a full-time career. What has changed since then?
I think general esport and Counter-Strike changed a lot during the year. I mean, just the negotiation we had last year with salary, stuff like that, everything just increased 300%, and you see that also on the prize pool right now. It increased 400% compared to last year. So I think just general the esport and the hype around Counter-Strike just got that bigger than last year. And of course, last year you could be able to live of it, but it's not like now where you actually have making a bigger living on it than before.
Well, you're cashing some nice checks, and I'm really happy that you're finally able to do that. For other people who are currently students and they may want to go pro, what advice would you give them? How do you handle both?
I think you have to prioritize some things. For me, it was always when I had exams, I just put Counter-Strike as second priority. And in the semester, I just thought to myself, if I want to be good at a game, I will invest more time during the semester where I don't have exams. So it's all about discipline, in my opinion. It's like when you have the exams, you know you need to prepare for the exams. Just like a tournament right now, just if I had a major going on now or a master, I'll just prioritize major over that. And that's also what I did at Catris back then when I actually wrote my thesis. So I said to my study buddy that I won't do it for 1 month because I have to focus on that major. But then I came home and I didn't play real CS for 2 weeks just because I had to catch up on everything. So it's all about discipline, and if you have discipline, you get a lot in your life compared to studies and pro gaming.
Well, I only have time for one more question, but I do have to ask about this match. Everyone on Twitter and a lot of people on Reddit, they want to know, what did you guys talk about there after round 6? You were down 1-5. How did you bring it back? What did you fix there in the first half and for the rest of the game?
Like yesterday, I didn't watch the VODs or demos of Gambit because I was way too sick. So my team talked about what worked on them on different maps. Like playing as explosive, they said would work against a team like that. But I realized after 5-1 that they actually used their smoke so fast, so you couldn't even use the gap where you actually can play explosive. So we started to play more structured, and when we came along in the game, I just went to Unleash, Device, and Dupree doing their thing when we actually came in the comfort zone. So first thing, it was a rough start, losing the anti-eco and losing 2 rounds where we came down to 3v3s, but didn't manage to hit our shots and communicate good. So I just think everything just changed at the time. People came down after being maybe a little too hype about the game. So we just calmed our nerves and talked about the things we need to do the next rounds.
Well, you were able to get a big win. You'll be moving on, playing CLG tomorrow. Thoughts on that matchup?
Actually, surprised when the CLG won, but I also felt like Envy were in a little slump, so there's like a lot of pressure on them. So playing tomorrow is going to be interesting against CLG. I don't know if they have the veto advantage or we'd have. So I think last time we met them was like game show where we actually beat them in a third place decider. So I hope there will be same game for us tomorrow. But it's going to be hard because they have everything to win. And they want to play in that arena in the weekend.
Well, I know you're feeling sick. I hope you get better, my friend. Congratulations on a big win. Desk, to you guys.
Thank you very much, Chris. And first off, before I talk to the gentleman, apologies to the Astralis fans. I'm sorry I pronounced your team 5 different ways last segment. And shout-outs to the guy on Reddit who took the actual Australian country, made it red, put their logo in the middle of it, and posted it. That's just awesome. So I'm sorry, all right? Astralis. Duncan, you had something you wanted to say.
I mean, I've always thought of Kerrigan as quite a humble guy, you know, like you're saying, like he understands like a very measured kind of guy, but it's kind of arrogant saying he didn't bother watching the demos because he's way too sick. Like, man, like, come on, just because you're really good at the game. It's not Envious tried that. You saw what happened to them.